So Jamie, also like, just give us a little bit about Black Girls Nerd. I mean, I see the Twitter and I'm like, these are some sharp, like incisive, witty, and I'm like, just first of all, how many hands does she have to respond so damn quickly? Because something comes up, and next thing you know, there's like 8, 9 quick tweets. I was like, that's like magical. So, but why did Black Girls Nerds start?
Oh, wow. Well, Black Girl Nerd started because I just Googled it, and nothing came up in Google. So, the world's largest search engine where you can find anything under the sun, it didn't have an afterthought for that term. So the moment that I noticed that, I was going through other searches on Twitter, when you just keep clicking and clicking and see the relevant searches, and I did stumble onto a Yahoo Answers site. And on the Yahoo Answers site, someone actually asked the question, do Black Girl Nerds exist? Wow. It was at that moment, I was just like, wow, this is
Every one of my girlfriends before I got married.
I just thought it was very interesting. So I just went ahead and I was just like, I'm just going to put an indelible print on the web and just use that term and create a blog. And I had blogging experience before, so it was very easy to go ahead and set that up on my account. And it started off with just me and my personal musings. And it was essentially what a blog is. But then folks started noticing it. And I had contributors that were like, hey, I want to write with Black Girl Nerds. I really love this space, and I really want to be able to tell my story. So it's evolved from this personal blog to this online community, which is beautiful because if it was just me, it would be really boring. I'm really not that interesting, but I love the fact that there's so many different contributors that lend their voices and that we're not just talking about nerd-related topics, that we're also talking about social issues that speak to what it is to be Black and to be female. So we talk about relationships and natural hair and interracial dating and things of that nature. So I think it's really cool to be able to balance talking about comic books and video games and cosplay, but also the social issues that are related to being Black and female. So yeah, and then it spawned into a podcast. Somebody was just like, hey, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? I was actually on Geek Soul Brothers show, and he's like, have you ever thought about doing a podcast? And I was like, I guess I could do that. And like once you kind of commit to something that's recorded that will be there forever, then you're just like, oh, I guess I got to do this now. So I went ahead and opened up a Blog Talk Radio account. Never heard of the term podcast prior. Didn't know anything about it. And I really just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the topics that we talk about, which are kind of derivative to a lot of the topics that we talk about on the website. We do that through the podcast. So it's been great. And then in addition to that, there's the online community with Twitter. Twitter's like a whole different animal of its own with the live tweets, which is just me being a geek, being into TV. I'm a TV geek. I love it. If somebody could pay me to watch TV all day, I'd totally do it. It would be my dream job. So, watching Game of Thrones and watching now The Strain, which is a big one, and Extant, it's fun to be able to live tweet it and, have that commentary. And then essentially what we're doing is just kind of networking and kind of fostering and bringing this community together by using different hashtags that are popular within the Blur community. So it's great. It's been a really awesome ride just doing this, and I'm really excited that Black Girl Nerds is a community that people feel like, hey, I'm not alone anymore. I finally found a community that I can network with, that I feel a part of something. I don't feel different or unique, because I know I felt that way. I felt like, okay, what's wrong with me? I'm not into the same things that a lot of my friends are into. So it's good to be able to have folks to feel connected.